Oracle reading card. I would like to share this card with you today. I picked them earlier, and interesting, I have picked them earlier when I say a few days ago, and I have lived through every single card in terms of understanding them through my everyday practical chore life. Chore life, literally chore life. You know, those moments of washing the dishes, putting the dishes away, doing the laundry, cleaning the house, driving, doing taxi driving for, for our children, work with the clients, all sorts, okay? It came all through those moments. And I hope to be able to put it together again with my heart, checking in with my heart and my guides. So I would like to ask everyone with me to center your heart and breathe into your heart, and let's just connect with our guides, with our inner divinity, that we understand the messages that are for us through soul level, that even if we don't understand through the words or through the context, that our soul is picking up the messages and that it can be delivered to us in different ways that we know we can understand. If there's anything that it doesn't discern, that doesn't resonate with us, that we're able to discern and drop it and leave it behind. That we don't have to feel attached to listening to a video in any moment in time, unless we feel in our hearts that it's for us. And as my heart glows and your heart glows, we are connecting, and I hope to be able to deliver this message for a collective that have their hearts glowing in this now moment. And so it is. I felt good. Don't know what I read. Back to front. I'm going to read back to front. I'm drawn to this card. Okay. The Four Cups. The Four Cups, perhaps. Where's my book? Where is it? I had it here a minute ago. Anyway. The Four Cups is that moment, perhaps, that we feel a little bit lost, a little bit confused, a little bit. It's our heart really showing us an adjustment of a vision, of an understanding, of a concept, of a situation that has somewhat hit us in the heart, and we are perhaps in controversy with ourselves, in controversy with others. We are not able to fully understand where we're coming or going. And all of that is okay. All of that is part of a heart really speaking to us, and we taking that time to actually stop and listen. The reading before was all about checking in with your heart all the time, right? Finding that moment and space that we can start reminding ourselves to check in with our heart. And even when we do, it doesn't mean it's always going to be this glorious moment of a heart opening space. Sometimes it can be a heart constriction space. And the heart constriction is only showing us that we are perhaps in contradiction with something. We're not resonating with something, and we need to listen. We need to listen to these moments. I'm just going to read the Four Cups. If you're finding yourself bored, unsatisfied, or frustrated with your current situation, know that you're likely missing the vibrant landscape that present just beyond your peripheral vision. Often we become so focused on our own internal perspectives that our feelings about a situation can prevent us from noticing the arrival of extraordinary opportunities and remarkable things. If you remain open to shifting ever so slightly in order to see your situation in a fantastic new light, you will learn that the present moment is filled with most dynamic magic. Instead of focusing on what you don't have right, focus on what you do. Even better, spend energy focusing on your thoughts, on the experiences that you will create in the future. And last reading, if you want to check in the last reading about the discovery of, your self-love, discovery of that connection with your heart guiding you through every step of the way. Perhaps sometimes we can get into moments like this where we are so in the mind, the King of Swords, we're so in the mind, and we forget to see what's around us, and what's around it is what we ask our guardian angel to deliver. and we're not able to see because we are then sitting in that confusion, that frustration. And it's okay to sit in that confusion, in that frustration, acknowledge, and then move on in a sense of asking questions. So why am I confused? Why am I frustrated? What is it in my space that is working? How can I bring that duality, what's frustrating, what's working, to see what the gap in between is? And that gap is where we need to work. So it's very important to acknowledge these moments and feel it. There's nothing wrong with that. Because in between the love, the light, right? The legacy of light. Number 7, again, a spiritual number. It's your spiritual journey, your journey to self-love discovery. And I think this is a reading, a continuation from the first reading. If you want to tap into the first reading as well, I think it will help you. And I haven't gone through the cards yet, but I do think it will help. So the legacy of light, you see there's a child, a parent, and a grandparent. And that space between our frustration and what's working out for us, that we need to take the time to check in with the heart to see. In that middle, there is all this wisdom from all these lessons that we learned through our ancestral line. And as we step into that gap, we are able to see all the different timelines, all the different moments in our lives, and the lessons that we've learned, the wisdom that we have acquired, and the healings that you have gone through. And you're able to then use those as your own tools, to be able to move forward and make a decision. And this is a moment perhaps of the mind merging with your experiences. I'm feeling a lot in the frontal lobe of my head, not necessarily the third eye, but like on the brain, as I'm thinking, but not overthinking. What I'm doing is I'm opening the fact that I need to trust my mind as well. We can be just in the mind, but when we are in the mind and the heart and mind is making connections to help us bring the information that we need, that adjustment that we need to be able to see, the POV, right? And sometimes we just need that little adjustment to see something differently. And we have to trust that our mind is a tool. Our mind is a tool. Yes, it may be in the past our mind tricked us, but we can teach our mind to connect with the heart and be more pure with the heart. That can be taught, that can be conditioned, believe it or not, and that can be trained. So if we can train something beautiful like this to happen, can you imagine how easily it is to just automatically be always connected with your heart? This is what living on autopilot is. It's our brain, we condition our brain to trauma coping mechanisms. But once you break that down, you understand that they were coping mechanisms. Can you then train your brain to connect with your heart? And this is the legacy of light, using your tools through all your experiences that are in your mind, but they're also in your heart. Yeah, and being able to bring that through to your own experience in everyday light. And not only your ancestors, but your family of light. The gate of Orion came through the last reading as well, like our galactic family. We have galactic family in space and time. And I love these blue lilies. I don't think they're called lilies. They're called something else. I know what they are, just don't know the name for now. But I love them in blue because they're usually very orange, very bright orange. but they are in blue, so I've never seen them in blue in real life. And our family of light is always here. Our guardian angels, our guides, our ancestors, our soul family, they're always here present with us. And are we utilizing their assistance? Are we asking? And are we trusting that we are receiving? And this is how we are utilizing the assistance. When we're not trusting, we're not utilizing no matter how much we ask. But if we're asking and trusting, we are definitely utilizing the assistance because they're always delivering. We just need to have that trust to be able to see the delivery. Are we preparing our Porsche and our delivery date to be present during the delivery date and time for that which you ordered? And this is exactly what it is. Going in within, checking in with your heart. My heart is going right now really strongly. There's a message coming through. And this is just perhaps to validate that, you know, we're only utilizing the assistance of the guidance that we ask if we are trusting. If we're not trusting, we're not utilizing. It's down to us because they're always there available. They're always there available. Check in with yourself, okay? Rutilated quartz. I'm going to, sorry, my head just popped in the video there. I'm just grabbing books there on the floor. Rutilated quartz. Okay, vibrational healing, higher mind. Again, reconciliation. Okay. You are to be consciously receiving loving vibrations and loving thoughts from someone connected to your past. An episode or conflict that hurt you emotionally is now being healed and reconciled by the power of forgiveness and unconditional love. Right. So we started here with the Four of Cups. You are frustrated. Something happened in your recent past that has left you confused. Have I acted from the heart? Okay, and you have. It's a validation that you have. And you've been sitting there asking for help from your ancestors, from your family of light. Okay, and they are here. They are here giving you that assistance. And through that assistance, you are healing that situation. You are healing that situation. This is a powerful message of when you sit in the trust of the assistance that you're asking, you are receiving, no matter what it looks like. We need to detach what they're receiving or what the outcome will look like. You will know through the power of your inner knowing when that is being delivered and acted and done and dusted. You will know. You don't need to know how, you don't need to know what it looks like. On the 3D, we need to detach how it will look like. It's all about sensing inside you, inside your chest, right there. Okay? That's a beautiful message on its own. If it was a message separate from that, this is a full message. And let's see how that evolves. Dancing in the rainbow. Break free from whatever you feel is holding you back. Express happiness. Find out what truly desires. The solution is, this is done. Okay? My heart is glowing again. So this is done. This is done. This is done. This is healed. This is healed. 7, again. Spirituality is here so strongly. This is healed. You can now relax. You can now enjoy your life. You can now dance in the rainbow. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel blame. Don't feel shame. Just go with it now. On the day I picked this card, I saw a video on Instagram, and I'll describe this video for you to understand how it kind of fits into this, because it just came to mind. Again, my mind is bringing me something that my heart felt at the time of the video, and I'm trusting my mind because my heart and mind are connected. I am not separate from it, okay? So I trust the mind, and I need you to trust your mind as well, as much as you trust your heart. There's this cameraman recording surface on in the ocean. There was waves coming through, the surface coming down, and he noticed two little fins outside the water, so he knew it was a dolphin. So he went under with his camera, he saw the two dolphins. So by that time he had no idea what was going on top of him, and he followed the dolphins like this, and the dolphins went down and under and then up, and then he breached the surface of the water. So he came up with his camera, and you can see the camera breaching the water of the surface of the water, and these two dolphins were diving up in the sky like this and then back in the water. And guess what, there's a massive rainbow like this. And if I can find that video again, I'll put it in the description to be shared, to be seen, because it's the most beautiful metaphor of, you know, you're following, you're going under the water, you're going through your emotions. Yeah, you're going through your emotions, through your heart, and then you're following these dolphins. You're coming out and you're breaching into light, into rainbow. You're dancing with the rainbow. And that card came on the same day of that video. What are the coincidences of these two resemble images to come through? And that photographer, that video man, cameraman, to actually not see the rainbow before, go with the dolphins, come back, and there was a rainbow that ready for them. That is an incredible image for me, and that tells me everything, that you're ready to step out, you're ready to go forward and put that situation behind. There's nothing else left for you to do. You've done everything that you could. You know you've done everything that you could from your heart, no matter what it looks like. Remember, no matter what it looks like, you know it's in your heart. If it wasn't, you would have something more to do about it. But right now, there's nothing to do about it. It's in your heart. And my heart is just glowing so, so, so much right now. It's confirmation for someone out there. Look at this. Bless your heart. Look at that ruby. Look at that gold. Okay? Reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal and mend your heart. Maybe the situation wasn't easy. Maybe you needed to step out. Maybe you needed to come out. And it went against all the things that you believed it was true in the past. And right now, that truth just came crumbling down. And you had to make a decision. You did. And you did from your heart. And I want you to remember this. I want you to trust it. This is a validation for you. When the day I took these cards, I was going to London, and when I traveled to London, it's a very busy, loud city, but it's very quiet because you can't speak to anyone. Everyone is in their own little world, and now with the phones, they're all with the phones in their faces and headphones and those earplugs that reduce the noise. And you can go and spend the whole day and there's no communication. It's a very silent, busy world when I go to London. And this time I went and I said, I will try to make eye contact with people. I want to see what happens, how it feels. And every people that made eye contact with me had blue eyes. And I was really shocked, really surprised that all the people that made eye contact were the one with blue eyes. And this card had come up in the morning. I never noticed until now, until my mind just brought back this experience. And like I said, I've lived through the experience of these cards. So bless your heart, you are being guided. And I resonate blue eyes with Archangel Michael. And I was very connected. I was very connected on that day. Find your motivation. So 11, okay, so you have come out of a situation with that Four of Cups. You have come out of this space, and it's just about shifting into understanding that through your knowingness, you know you did it from the heart, and you're ready, and you're starting to see in front of you different timelines that is showing you that there is a step forward. Okay, there is a direction, and you're sensing that timeline, you're feeling that timeline. And what is that direction? And through this motivation, inspiration, what inspires you? The Ace of Wands came in the last reading. It was all about, through the self-discovery of self-love, it was all about the inner inspiration. It's right there in your root chakra. It's right there deep within in your root chakra. Go in there, meditate with your root chakra and see what motivates you. Because what motivates you is what your family of light is bringing for you to see when you ask for help. It's through your motivation. Yeah, it's not going to be through the remembrance of those moments. It's going to be through the moments of motivation. And those are the moments you need to be attuned to be able to see the answer of those, the guidance of those questions you ask, the help that you asked. The anointing transformation. And this is, I think, that's going to bring inner transformation for you to understand more of your heart, to understand more of how we navigate through your heart. When you navigate through your heart, you are merging the feminine and the masculine energies within yourself. The mind and the heart are dualities. They are the masculine and the feminine merging within yourself. You are closing the gap between your mind and your heart. The more that you trust your heart, the more you trust your mind. And your mind is there to help you navigate through this earth. You are in the earth plane, you have to use your mind. But you're also here in the divine plane and you have to use your heart. So we're here to merge these two together to be able to live in this earth. Jesus had to be in those two planes at all times to be able to deliver the message of the Christ consciousness through his teachings. Mary Magdalene as well. So the anointing, right, is that moment that you realize that you are transforming. It's just that moment. It's just that space, that awareness, that click in your mind, that aha moment that you think, yes, I am transforming into the power of my self-love. I am transforming into the power of my divinity. And this is a moment for you. This is a moment for you. And the video is asking to rotate again, and I don't understand what's going on, and I hope it's been recording. I'll have a look later. You are transforming, you are evolving, you are ascending. And I love how these two cards have very similar colors. Okay, again, blue. You are protected. You are protected, okay? You are shifting, you're moving, you're progressing, you're evolving. You are stepping forwards. And sometimes when we have to leave a situation behind, right? Where's the Four of Cups? It's very hard, okay? Because as we leave a situation behind and we've done everything that we could through the heart, we start to step into this evolution of self that we are able to then review these situations from a different perspective of a higher consciousness. And then you gaining and integrating that consciousness into the new experiences that you are going through in the future, which then helps you evolve. If we stay stuck in these situations and we don't make a change, and we perhaps leave it behind, but we haven't created a solution, sometimes we can find ourselves in the same situation again, because that is another trigger for us to be able to merge our feminine and masculine energies to create that transformation, to then evolve through the situations. But if we're not, we'll be repeating the same thing over and over again until we learn to merge ourselves, not with the other person, but ourselves, into that balance of masculine and feminine energies. So you are shifting through, you have passed that stage, you have passed that phase, you have passed that story, and now you are in your own ascension. And what is going to drive you forward progressively is finding that point of motivation, okay? Pure motivation from now. I would consider this the Sun card, yeah? Motivation, go for it. Go for it. There's nothing else to say about this. Just go for it. That's your new POV. Okay? That's your new POV. Archangel Felier. Honor animals, communicate with different species. Perhaps you are realizing, okay, this is just a message for myself, I think, and I feel. I see the squirrel here. If you look at the squirrel, it was in the last message. And allow yourself to feel connected to other species. When I say other species, it's animals, okay? Your family, your soul family, energetically. Let's talk about energetically. Perhaps you are learning to connect with yourself through your self-discovery, your self-love. You are now in this ascension and transformation of self-love, right? Hear me out. And connection, it's going to become more like an urgency for you to feel. You want to feel connected. Like my story going to London and felt I don't feel connected with people in London. They don't speak, they don't talk, they don't make eye contact unless they really need to. And it's very hard. It's not that they don't, but when you are on subways and stuff, it's very difficult. There's loud noises. You can't hold a conversation in a subway. I've tried it. You have to read lips, right, to be able to understand. So I can understand how it closes people down. So it's not criticism about the people there. It's not at all. Because when I go there, I go into the same mode. But that's because of the environment brings me into these spaces of quieting down and sitting with myself and not connecting. So that's why when I went to London last time, I thought I would like to connect with people. So I started with eye contact. Eye contact is the easiest thing in any loud environment. So it's not criticism about the people at all. And please, I hope that most people have got to this point to see the clarity. But connecting, sometimes when you are going through this inner journey, you want to connect more, and the more you connect it with yourself, you feel like you want to connect more with others. But always go back to you, go back to animals, go back to trees, go back to nature, go back to the sun, the wind, the fire, the waters, and spend more time. When you think you're ready to connect with people, perhaps go back in again, because there's layers and layers of this deeper inner connection. So when we are connecting with other people, we're not transferring our triggers. We are not spending time mirroring our issues. We are actually transferring the love connection that we found. And when we do that, connections can be very quick, linked in, okay? And perhaps you are in this stage where you are just wanting to be by yourself a little bit more introverted, more integrated in your own home and nothing else, and that's okay. And that's the time to connect, with your inner space. Yeah, and if your inner space is surrounded by animals, perhaps use those animals to create that connection. Okay. Leaving from the heart, soften and open, because that space in your heart is where you're going to find the softness of yourself, the gentle, loving aspect of yourself that's always been there. It's from the moment you were born. And it's not a space, it's a space that's been guarded, it's been protected. You protected that space through your environmental living, through your program living, through your conditioning living. As you were growing up, you protected that space, and that space is being there calling you back in, okay? Calling you back in to find that softness, and that softness will be in your root chakra. Believe it or not, it's your inner essence, and it will be in your root chakra. And because it allows you to see things from a highest perspective, okay? POV. It's adjustment. We're being called to adjust our POV constantly, not just once, but constantly through the day. We're being called to adjust that constantly through the day. And the closer you adjust to your heart, the closer your mind will be able to see it through the heart. And I think that's a powerful message there. energy rising, vitality, confidence, power, decisiveness. This is a powerful portal. If you see, it's going in a spiral. Yeah. And I'll show you something here. I drew this a few years ago, and there's a story to this, and I'll explain in another video. But this brought me trust. The experience of this that I draw, and how I felt guided to use it, my heart is glowing now, has helped me to trust my inner knowing. I was very in doubt of my inner knowing, and I could remember being in trust of my inner knowing as a child, but I was living in as an adult in pure doubt, pure fear of getting it wrong. And that helped me to bring this confidence, to bring this vitality and power of decisiveness through my inner knowing. And this is one of the things that I teach you to feel, is your power, your confidence, your decisiveness, your inner knowing, to trust. I teach trusting, and I'm working on the trusting all the time, in all different levels, all different aspects, all different depths. I'm always working on that, and every time that there is something new, I bring into the class and the healing call. And this is how we sense. If you like to sense things through energy, that's the class for you, because I do everything through energy. And this is how we sense our inner knowing. And if you want to, we have a class on the 29th of March, and the description will be on the link will be in the description. The Druid. So, quick read on this card. Hold firmly to what you believe and things with clarity. The guidance you seek comes from an authoritative source. Sometimes your beliefs isolate you into feeling unusual. Find your spiritual family, the ones who share your outlook, in order to enter a clearer relationship with your deeply held views. It's just described everything that I said about trusting yourself. And this is our healing group call are free, okay, to join. The link is in the description. And this is a space of going into that inner knowingness. And if you're ready, it's the space that we hold a safe space for everyone to find that inner knowing and that trust. And yeah, I hope to see you there. I remember now, this was the first card that came out when I pulled this card. I remember now, Delusion. And this was the second one. Where is it? The Four of Cups. Okay. And yes, you gotta hold the line. And I'm gonna use that expression all the time now, I like that. You gotta hold the timeline. You have come to a conclusion that you have done and finalized a situation, worked through a situation, left a situation through your heart. You realize that perhaps there was a bit of delusion from both sides, not just the other side, but your side as well. You've worked through that delusion. You have evolved through that in your heart. Okay? You have worked through that in your heart. You are evolving through that ascension from that decision. It was a delusion. But you're now sitting more in your inner trust, in your inner knowingness. And this is the gift from this situation that just happened. This is the gift, sitting and that trust of your inner knowingness. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Freya, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. Yes, it's a holy hell yes. And when you are in your heart and you know it's a yes, okay, and the experiences look completely contradictory to your holy yes, holy hell yes, where's your trust? On the delusion showing up to you, on the external, or is it in your heart? Where are you going? Because if you go back to the external, you miss the opportunity to see everything from a higher perspective. If you go into your heart and you understand your holy hell yes through trust, you'll be able to see the situation through a higher perspective. You will be able to change the POV and see it for the truth of what it is. That is ascension. That is your energy frequency rising. That is you evolving. And you leave that behind and you go find your motivation with that frequency that you just raised. You raised your frequency. Go find your meditation, your motivation. What inspires you. You leave that behind. You go find your motivation. Because that's the window gap of opportunity that some people say we open a portal. You open a portal to see your motivation from all these experiences in the past. You're going to find your key. Don't sit there dwelling on it. Don't sit in the Four of Cups for longer than you need. Don't sit in the Four of Cups for longer than you need. You have the opportunity to raise your frequency. Go for it. And listen. my left ear just clicked and that card came up. Just listen. Listen to yourself, nothing else, okay? Create harmony and balance within yourself. Your masculine and feminine energies are balancing after this experience. You are finding that balance. You're only finding that balance because you're not sitting on this Four of Cups, because you're listening to your heart, you're allowing your energy to raise frequency, you're looking for things that inspire you and motivate you. You are rising through the ascension of higher perspectives, right? You understand now what a holy hell yes means in your heart. And where is that heart card? Because you are living from the heart and you know you are. Is that inner trust that you are working through right now. You've been through the self-discovery of self-love, and now you are in the self-discovery of your inner knowingness and your inner trust. And that's beautiful. Okay. Pendragon sword. Shall we have a look at that? A balanced power. Oh my God. This consecrated sword represents balance, power, and wisdom, qualities bestowed only to those who have earned them. This is coming of age for you. Much can be accomplished now with relative ease, provided you remain balanced and grounded. You are bestowed the power of the dragon, ruler, king, and magician. This great honor and privilege is also a great responsibility. You can hold this power indefinitely for as long as you honor, respect, and use it wisely. So you hold the line, you hold the timeline that you're in right now. Don't go back to the Four of Cups, to the delusion. Do not go back there. Stay in your, hold this timeline. This is the Magician card. And this is As you, I love this swoosh card, okay? Every time that comes up, when the first time my life moved through this card, like shifted through this card, for me that's when you move timeline and you shift timelines, but then you're able to hold it, okay? And that's the card for me to tell me that. And look at that. So you enter that timeline, you open that portal by exiting that situation, the Four of Cups and the Seven of Cups, the delusion, okay? And you are now entering that inner trust and that inner balance, and you noticing where that power, how that power has helped you move through here, through your heart, and you have held that timeline. You have held that timeline, and the Pegasus that's been showing here this whole time in the reading. I'm going to get a quick read of the Pegasus. The Muse, fame, sacred springs, and for me that's the World card in itself. The Sun card, you know, and this is where you are right now. 308. Let me see, 308. When Pegasus flies in as your spirit animal, it's time to work with the four elements, energy and magic. Pegasus as a totem animal belongs to those who dream the big dreams. Invoke Pegasus as your power animal when you need help reaching for the stars. That's it. Okay, beautiful card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign up for the free call on the March 29th new moon healing energy call, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much.